Welcome back to US Auto Madness, the channel where we live and breathe American muscle. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most legendary names in performance car history, the Pontiac GTO. When you hear GTO, you're not just hearing the name of a car. You're hearing the birth of the American muscle car era. Back in 1964, Pontiac did something bold. They took a mid-size car, dropped a massive V8 engine into it, and created a monster. That simple formula changed the automotive world forever. The original Pontiac GTO is widely credited as the car that started the muscle car revolution in the United States. The first GTO came with a 389 cubic inch V8, pushing up to 348 horsepower in its top configuration. In the mid-1960s, that kind of power in a relatively lightweight package was almost unheard of. It wasn't just fast, it was aggressive, loud, and unapologetic. It had dual exhaust, hood scoops, and a stance that told everyone at the stoplight that this was not your average family car. Throughout the late 1960s, the GTO kept evolving. By 1966 and 1967, it had become a true icon. Sales skyrocketed, competitors rushed to build their own muscle machines, and suddenly the horsepower wars were on. In 1969, Pontiac introduced the Judge package, turning the GTO into an even more outrageous performance statement. Bright colors, bold stripes, and a Ram Air engine option made it clear that subtlety was not the goal. Under the hood, the late 60s, GTOs offered monstrous power plants like the 400 cubic inch V8 and later the 455 cubic inch engine. These engines delivered massive torque, perfect for straight-line acceleration. The GTO wasn't just about numbers, though. It was about attitude. It was about freedom. It represented a time in America when bigger was better and louder was faster. But like many muscle cars of the era, the GTO faced challenges in the 1970s. Rising insurance costs, stricter emissions regulations, and the oil crisis all took their toll. Horsepower numbers began to drop. Compression ratios were lowered, and the muscle car golden age slowly faded. By 1974, the original run of the Pontiac GTO had come to an end. For many enthusiasts, that could have been the final chapter. But Pontiac wasn't done with the GTO name. Fast forward to 2004, Pontiac revived the GTO, this time based on the Australian-built Holden Monaro platform. The new GTO looked more understated than its ancestors. Gone were the wild stripes and aggressive scoops. Instead, the design was clean and smooth, almost conservative. Some fans loved the sleeper look. Others wanted something more dramatic. Under the hood, however, there was nothing conservative about it. The 2004 GTO came with a 5.7-liter LS1 V8 engine, producing 350 horsepower. That engine was paired with either a 4-speed automatic or a 6-speed manual transmission. In 2005 and 2006, Pontiac upgraded the GTO to the 6.0-liter LS2 V8, boosting output to 400 horsepower. That made it a serious contender in the modern muscle car market. Performance-wise, the revived GTO was impressive. 0 to 60 in around 4.7 seconds, a quarter-mile time in the low 13-second range. Independent rear suspension gave it better handling than many traditional muscle cars. It wasn't just quick in a straight line. It could actually carve corners with confidence. Inside, the modern GTO offered a refined cabin with supportive leather seats, a solid sound system, and a driver-focused layout. It blended muscle car power with a more mature, almost European driving feel. That was part of its charm. It didn't scream for attention. It quietly delivered performance that could embarrass many sports cars of its time. However, the revived GTO struggled in the sales department. Some critics argued that it didn't look aggressive enough. Others felt it didn't fully capture the raw spirit of the original. By 2006, Pontiac discontinued the GTO once again. A few years later, in 2010, Pontiac itself would shut down under General Motors restructuring. Today, the Pontiac GTO holds a special place in automotive history. The 1960s models are highly collectible, often selling for significant sums at auctions. Restored examples, especially rare versions like the Judge or Ram Air 4 cars, are prized by collectors and enthusiasts alike. They represent a golden era of American performance. What truly makes the Pontiac GTO special is not just its horsepower figures or its quarter-mile times. It's the legacy. It's the fact that this car helped define an entire category. Without the GTO, the muscle car era might have looked very different. Cars like the Chevrolet Chevelle SS, the Ford Mustang Mach 1, and the Dodge Charger RT all followed a path that the GTO helped pave. The GTO represents risk-taking. It represents innovation. It represents a time when automakers were willing to break the rules and push boundaries. From the roaring 389 and 400 cubic inch engines of the 1960s to the LS-powered revival in the 2000s, the GTO has always stood for performance with personality. Even today, when you see a classic GTO rumbling down the road, heads turn. The sound of that V8, the rumble of the exhaust, and the unmistakable presence remind everyone why muscle cars matter. And when you see a 2005 or 2006 GTO launch off the line, you realize that the spirit never really died. The Pontiac GTO isn't just a car. It's a symbol of American automotive madness, bold, powerful, and unforgettable. And that's exactly why we love it here at US Auto Madness. If you're a true muscle car fan, the GTO isn't just part of history, it's part of your DNA.